Thank you so much for watching the show again. And remember, without you guys sending us some requests via either Twitter or via email or even WhatsApp, I see nowadays, we will not be able to host the show. So thank you so much. And it's also nice for us to serve the trading community, especially the guys that like the charts, or as I call it in Afrikaans, Boesman tekeninge. So thank you so much for the request. And let's kick off with Connor's request. Connor said, Frans, I'm looking at Harmony. I want to buy it. He says the gold price is going much higher with all these worries about the coronavirus. And like a friend of mine said, he thought that there's only Corolla cars, and now he hears there's some coronaviruses around. So let's have a look at Connor's request. Connor, Harmony. Now, first of all, let's have a look here. The share rallied from early February, middle February, all the way to about, you can say, the end of February, where we are now a few days ago, right to the top at 70 Rand. But what worries me now is, first of all, as Connor will know, this is clearly a lamp formation. Now, usually what we see in a lamp formation, Connor, is that the share price rallies in such a rapid speed that almost no one can buy it. And if you did not buy it around here, you just don't get an opportunity to buy it, because look at it, from the one day 48 Rand, then 53, then 56, then 59, and the next day's 11 Rand up. I mean, that's a massive rally if you think about it. It's just too fast. So let's have a look here at the share. Now, first of all, this breakaway gap was almost an exhaustion gap. You can see the guys, when they got in there, they just bought it straight away. Now, I look at this gap and I say to myself, that is a warning signal. But there was even once before. There was one, and there was another one, and then this was the big one. But look at this candle. This strong bullish candle in upward momentum does have a shadow there to the top. And then you see this, what we call a gravestone doji candle. And even this one tells me that there's some sellers around. Now, let's just at first have a look at this window. And this is the important one. As you can see here, there was the initial window. That's where it opened. And there you are. I just want to draw it in here. Now, this initial window, remember, this was the low of this candle. That low was 62.55. And the high of this candle was 59.50. But can you also see there was a previous high where it was also around that 59.50 level. In actual fact, that level was 58.64. So it bounced up there. But as you can see now, this gap here, these two candles, look at it. That one is already trying to close it. And even this one is attempting to close it. So what you usually find after such a beautiful rally, a steep rally, a lamp formation, you will probably see that we can close this gap, or I want to go even further and say we can close this gap, or I want to go even further and say we can maybe close this gap. So for me personally, Connor, if I want to look at Harmony to buy, I will say to myself, let's wait for these gaps to get closed, and let's see if we can get an oversold or an overbought situation. Look what we saw here, an overbought situation triggered the selling scenario. And if we can get an oversold scenario with a nice reversal candle, remember that's important. If you get an oversold scenario and you find a reversal candle like we've seen here, look at it, there was the bearish candle, and then it was a Harami candle. But let's just maybe see if the stochastic can give us an idea what happened there at the bottom. And that's why I want to stress this point. Don't just rush in if you want to buy. You must wait for your indicators, and there you are. Can you see? There's the stochastic. It's nice and low. It is oversold. And what did you see? You saw a Harami candle and a turn of the trend. And look at the stochastic. The stochastic played around and went it and took it even all the way up to the top. So now we're sitting at exactly the opposite. Now we say a share that has rallied too hard, and we need some selling to take place, and we need a stretch indicator before we can get back into Harmony. Well, let's have a look at Shoprite. Richard said, Frans, I want to buy Shoprite. I think it is offering some value. By the way, Christelle in our office that's also a broker and a brilliant technical analyst. She also likes the company. And when we chatted about it, she said to me, Dad, I want at least a nice reversal candle before I can look at the share. Now, if we look at it, first of all, Christelle is quite right. Look at it. There was the previous low. There you are. That was the previous low. And what happened? It broke this low, so it made a new low. And what did we see? Today, we saw this beautiful bullish engulfing candle. And that is positive. And that can maybe trigger what we call a beautiful double bottom scenario. Now, although this one is a little bit lower, remember, look at the close. When that one closed around there, there was 2 days closing close to that previous low of about 108 Rand. And I was hoping that we can maybe get to 100 Rand. And what happened? We went all the way down to 100 Rand and 1 cent, just close. And you can almost say at that psychological level. So I think Christelle is right, but Richard is also right. Richard, I like this bullish engulfing candle. And for me, let's just have a look where I will start looking at buying the share. There's a little bit of a target there. There you are. And that will be if this trend line that tells you that the momentum is to the downside can break to the upside. And that will turn into a support above that candle exactly where it breaks 115 Rand and 80 cents. It's now trading at 113.70. So about 2 Rand from here, it will trigger a buying opportunity, and then maybe you can look at it. But look at your stop loss, and that is 100 Rand and 1 cent. But for me, I think if we want to buy these, you can almost say retailers, there's a lot of them, Shoprite, Spar, Mr. Price, Truworths, Foschini, all of them with all these tendency that's got some big candles. I think you need to make a note of your stop loss, because a 13 Rand stop loss here is quite big. So my rule is always, if I have a share that's got this massive stop loss target, I never go, and you guys know me for many years now, I never go full out and buy in all vengeance. I just nibble. Let's say, for instance, I want to put in 50,000 Rand in the share. I'll go and maybe put on just maybe 6,000 or 8,000 Rand so that I've got enough opportunities to add on if it either consolidates or it starts to give higher lows. But it's early days. But I think this bullish engulfing candle is just telling us that there is maybe some keen buyers around here. It was waiting for this level close to 100 Rand, and then they got in and they said maybe we're going to buy it for the medium to a long term. Because I would like to show you something. If you look at Shoprite here for the long term, and remember, this is now a true South African company where they've got some branches in Africa, but their management and all you can almost say all their management skills sit in South Africa. Just look at this share. Can you believe it? That even a retailer like a Shoprite can have a trend. It's either a beautiful uptrend and a beautiful downtrend. And there's the double bottom that we're showing now. And look at the strong resistance. And this is, of course, a weekly chart. That candlestick chart was a daily chart. Now look at this weekly chart. That just tells you clearly that the stock has been hammered to pieces. And if it can break this line here on the weekly chart, 115.50 cents, that's about 2 Rand from here, you can maybe see a change in the uptrend. So I like the chart. I like the way it's been hammered. Look at it. It's a waterfall formation all the way to the downside. And we know in the past, what does a waterfall formation gives you? Usually a V reversal. There's one, and then you see the sharp move up. So hopefully for Richard, we get the sharp reversal, Richard, and then you can make a few Rand or even buy a few for the medium to a long term. Let's look at Aspen. Let's have a look here. And it wasn't just Richard that asked about it, it was also Amanda. Amanda wanted to know about Aspen, and she says she likes the company, and the company has been hammered, but look at this chart. And I want to add something in here. I want to put in a 40-week moving average, because this is a weekly chart, and I just want to see if it changed already into a support. Let's have a look. A 40-week moving average, and there you are. Nice chart this. It shows you ugly sell-off, nice consolidation, And then there's the 40-week moving average chart. And that turned into a support at 103 Rand and 71 cents. But what is the important thing for me here? You can remember that during this week, the market was hammered almost 6%, I think in 3 or 4 sessions. But what happened to Aspen? It almost held its own. And that's a good sign. So I will say buy as close as you can to that at 103 Rand 19. That's that 40-week moving average. Make use of a stop loss of 95.59. And then maybe your first sign of strength will be above 190.95. And if it can break that support of 125.57, I think we can see a nice move to the upside. And also keep in mind, if it can break this 123 level, if it starts to do that, you will probably see some nice higher lows from here. And what I like about the company, apart from that it's holding its own after this market has been hammered, at least you see a nice consolidation. And what's important here, and this is actually the clue that I would like to give through to Amanda. Amanda, this line holds the key. Can you see that this line was a resistance a while back? And now suddenly the share is starting to show its face, and see if it can turn this line. And this line sits at 108 Rand. Now it closed at 107.83 yesterday. If it can break above 108 Rand, you can easily see that this pivot line turns into a support, and it can give us some strength for not for the short term, because this is a weekly chart, remember. It's for the medium to the long term. So maybe all the bad news that hammered the share all the way from 381 to about 103 Rand now is in the stock, and it is already priced in. So let's see. I gave you the stop loss levels, and I gave you the level where you can nibble at it. Let's hope it turns out to be a success. After the break, we'll carry on.